'Twas a warm sunny morning. On his house on the other side of the wood, Mr. Tickle was asleep. You didn't know there was such a thing as a tickle, did you? Well, there is. Tickles are small and round and have arms that stretch and stretch and stretch. Extraordinarily long arms. Mr. Tickle was fast asleep. He was having a dream. It must have been a very funny dream because it made him laugh out loud, and that woke him up. He sat up in bed, stretched his extraordinarily long arms, and yawned an enormous yawn. Mr. Tickle felt hungry. So do you know what he did? He reached out one of his extraordinary long arms and he opened the bedroom door. He reached downstairs, opened the kitchen door, reached into the kitchen cupboard and opened the biscuit tin. He took out the biscuit and brought it back upstairs, through the bedroom door, back into Mr. Tickle's bed. As you can see, 'tis very useful indeed having arms as long as Mr. Tickle's. Mr. Tickle munched his biscuit. He looked out at the window. Today looks very much like a tickling day, he thought to himself. So later that morning, Mr. Tickle had made his bed and cooked his breakfast. He set off through the woods. As he walked along, he kept his eyes wide open, looking for somebody to tickle, looking for anybody to tickle. Eventually, Mr. Tickle came to a school. There was nobody about. So, reaching up his extraordinarily long arms to a high window ledge, Mr. Tickle pulled himself up and peeped through the open window. Inside, he could see a classroom. There were children sitting at their desks and a teacher writing on the blackboard. Mr. Tickle waited a minute and then reached in through that window. Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long arm went right up to the teacher, paused, and then he did tickle. The teacher jumped in the air and turned round very quick to see who was there. But there was nobody there. Mr. Tickle grinned a mischievous grin. He waited another minute, and then he tickled that teacher again. This time he kept on tickling until soon the teacher was laughing so loud and saying, "Stop it, stop it, stop it," all over and over again. All the children were laughing too at such a funny sight. There was a terrible pandemonium. Eventually, Mr. Tickle thought he'd had enough fun, so he gave the teacher one more tickle for luck, and then he very quietly brought his arms back down through the window, and chuckling to himself, he jumped down from the window ledge, leaving the poor teacher to explain what was happening all about, which of course he couldn't. Then Mr. Tickle went into town. What a day Mr. Tickle had. He tickled the policeman on traffic duty at the crossroads in the middle of the town. It caused an enormous traffic jam. He tickled the greengrocer just as he was piling apples neatly in his shop window. The greengrocer fell over backwards. The apples rolled all over his shop. And at the railway station, the guard was about to wave his flag for the train to leave. As he lifted his arm in the air, Mr. Tickle nipped in and tickled him too. And every time he tried to wave his flag, Mr. Tickle tickled him until the train was 10 minutes late, leaving the station. That day, Mr. Tickle tickled everybody. He tickled the doctor, he tickled the butcher, he even tickled old Mrs. Stamp, the postwoman, who dropped all her letters in a puddle. And then Mr. Tickle went home. Sitting in his armchair in his small house at the other side of the wood, he laughed and laughed every time he thought about all the people that he'd tickled. So, if you're in any way ticklish, beware of Mr. Tickle and those extraordinarily long arms of his. Just think, perhaps he's somewhere about this very moment while you're reading this book. Perhaps that extraordinarily long arm of his is already creeping up to the outdoor of your room. Perhaps it's opening that door now, and it's going to come into the room. And perhaps, before you know what really is happening, you will be well and truly tickled.